coming home to the smell of fresh-made chocolate chip cookies. And so today I'm going to show you how you can make your own chocolate chip cookies so you can enjoy that sensation anytime. I've been making cookies my whole life because they're probably my favorite dessert. And I've done a lot of research for this project just on the history of chocolate chip cookies and a couple of different types. It was very hard research. I had to try out a bunch of different cookies and just be glad you didn't have to go through that. But first off, I'm going to tell you about the history of cookies. And they were actually, I got this information from about.com, but it started with a woman named Ruth Bakefield, who owned the Toll House Inn, which many of you know because of the Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookies. But she had a famous cookie called the Butter Drop Dew, which was kind of a chocolate cookie, but it required baker's chocolate. And unfortunately that day she didn't have baker's chocolate, so she substituted a chocolate bar she had gotten from her friend Andrew Nestle, expecting the chocolate to melt into the cookie like it normally does with baker's chocolate. But when she baked it, the chocolate just got soft and stayed in little chunks in the cookie, and when she tried one, she liked it so much she decided to serve it to her customers, and it quickly became the most popular cookie she had. So Andrew Nestle, kind of an entrepreneur, saw this as an opportunity and decided to go into business with her and supplied her with lifetime supply of chocolate in exchange for her recipe, which he now prints on the back of every one of the Nestle chocolate chip cookies. So to start with making these cookies, you need 3/4 cups of brown sugar, 3/4 cups of white sugar, and 2 sticks of butter, which I've started mixing here. And you just keep mixing that until it's creamy. And this usually takes a while. You definitely want the butter to be room temperature, which I kind of expected this to be since I've left it out for 2 hours, but butter doesn't really like to get room temperature for some reason. And so once you've got that pretty creamy, you crack in 2 eggs, and you want to mix these eggs individually into here. You don't want to put them both in at the same time. Just to make sure that you get a consistency throughout. So you see it's kind of getting a lot thinner and smoother as you add those eggs. So add the second one. And while this is mixing, you can also be making that second mixture, which is 2 1/4 cups of flour, and then a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of baking soda. And so you're just going to mix this up until the eggs fully mixed in. And then with this mixing, you're slowly going to add this in. You don't want to add it all at one time, or else you're going to get flour flying everywhere, which is never very good. And then once you add all this flour, this is your basic dough for just about any kind of variation of the chocolate chip cookie. And some of those variations are, instead of using chocolate chips, you use M&Ms, which creates kind of a crunchier cookie. It's pretty popular. Or then, like we were talking about earlier, the white chocolate macadamia nut, where you would just add white chocolate chips instead of the normal semi-sweet or milk chocolate, and then chopped up macadamia nuts. There's also the double chocolate chip cookie, which is a different kind of dough entirely. It's a chocolate dough instead of the normal dough, more like a sugar cookie dough. And that's and then you add the chocolate chips to that. So almost. And then once you get all that mixed in, you can start adding in your chocolate chips. And when you finish adding your chocolate chips in, you want to make sure they're thoroughly distributed throughout the entire dough and batter. And then you take a tablespoon and you kind of scoop up tablespoons worth of the dough and put it onto a baking sheet that's ungreased, and stick them into an oven that's preheated to 375, and you want to bake those for 9 to 11 minutes. And then you pull them out and put them on a cookie rack and enjoy. But that's pretty much all there is to making cookies. It's a pretty simple process. And now that you guys know how to, I hope you'll go home during the spring break and make some of your own. But if not, we got some for you guys to enjoy. Thanks.